Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about why mid-game players probably shouldn't be prioritizing farming Galactic Legends and what they should be working on and why. So first off, let's kind of define mid-game, what I'm talking about. To me, I am thinking about players that maybe only recently started doing hard conquest. So they hit 4 million and they have a good baseline going, and they are now going to be able to start competing in Proving Grounds, and they're trying to decide what to farm next. So that could be between like 4 million and I don't know, maybe even like 9 million. I think by the time you're knocking on the door of low Kyber, Kyber 4, Kyber 5, that's when you're like late game. And Kyber 3 through 1 is end game. It's kind of just a my general sense of it. And for players that aren't focused on Grand Arena, and maybe their size will determine when they're late game or not. And also, I want to start by saying I would say Leia and Jabba are major exceptions to this point. I think everyone should be trying to get Leia and Jabba. I think they should be your first GLs. And yes, I am a lot closer to JML, having gotten Jabba and Leia, and there's overlap, and I will probably get him as my third GL at some point on this account. But I think there just keep being other priorities that pop up to me that make more sense to chase. Now Leia, I think she's the best first GL because she just dominates every game mode all over the place without a Conquest lifter, without Omicrons really, and just with the characters you unlock her with. She is just a beast. And she works well with a lot of early game team staples that you're going to want to be going for, like CLS and Phoenix. And then Jabba, he's good, he's decent, but the main reason everyone needs to get him is because of his mod farming ability. You're going to get so many 6-dot mods and slicing mats and good mods just from his Smuggler's Run 2. And he's a good GL, and you need him. You can use him all over the place. However, Leia just kicks butt everywhere. For example, this Rebels Galactic Challenge that just popped up. Yes, she happens to be a Rebel for the team, but she is so good at just any random feat. I got all these in one battle with her. Attacking out of turn 20 times, only 3 special abilities. I did it in 2. I just did one ability, hit basic, and she got all this. All these assists. It was just incredible. And no sweat on crushing it. She can beat almost every GL, can beat literally almost any combination of teams, and on defense she single-handedly carried me to a Rhodium 1 at like 5.5 million GP, because players just can't beat Leia on defense if you give her any kind of decent stats. The whole season, I went undefeated last season just from Leia on defense. Didn't have any other GL on defense or any other super strong team on defense. So she is a clear exception, as is Jabba. So why don't I want to farm more GLs right now on this account? And I'm only really coming to this conclusion because I'm in the situation myself. If I was still just an endgame player without a small account, not going through it myself, it would be hard to think through the actual motivations, what's driving me, rewards considerations. Until I'm actually in this trench, I didn't really think about this as hard. So yes, JML, I am close to. I have half of his requirements already done without specifically targeting him whatsoever. But that said, that's still 8 characters I need to get to a Gear 13 and relic them to varying degrees. Relic 5, Relic 5, Relic 7, Relic 6, Relic 5, and 3 Relic 3s. That's a lot of relic materials. And they're old characters. They were easy to farm. I have them all at 7 stars, I think, for the most part. Except Jedi Training Rey, I need to farm a bunch of other characters to get her unlocked and get her stars. And so the easy gears, they don't, except for Mon Mothma, none of them require a Chirotech before Gear 12. However, pretty much every character is the same difficulty or similar difficulty getting from Gear 12 to Gear 13, and then every single character has identical requirements to get relics. So I can look at any character as the same as any other character when it comes to relic considerations or getting them to Gear 13. Getting to Gear 12 might be an added difficulty, but getting to Gear 13 is the same across the board. So I'm looking at least 8 requirements here to get a GL. For Sith Eternal Emperor, it's 11 more various relic levels. And JMK, 4 out of 16 is all I have. Lord Vader, I only have 2 out of 16. I am very far away from every Galactic Legend. Don't even get me started on Ahsoka. Tano. I even farmed, the Enoch, the Paria crew, which got me part of the way there, but there's Relic 9, Relic 8, Relic 9. Oh my gosh. The power level doesn't really make it worth it. They are amazing. Don't get me wrong, Galactic Legends are amazing. But if you're thinking just PvP, you don't really need a ton on defense. I got it done with just Leia getting to Erodium. We're going to see how it goes from there. But you can beat all these Galactic Legends with some kind of off-mana counter that are honestly easier to acquire. So for me right now on this small account, I'm working on Balin. All these characters are now accelerated. This is now about a year old of a journey, and it's currently unavailable, but I think I'll be ready for it by the time it comes back permanently in the journey guide. This is 5 characters at Relic 7. 2 of them are fitting into the team he's going to be on. So that's a 3v3 team. Then you add 2 more. And 2 of them, Great Mothers, Morgan Elspeth. That starts an entirely new team that's basically legendary level, can beat like Ahsoka, GL Ahsoka without Ezra, or even with Ezra if you mod them right. Thrawn is nice, he has a ship. So that's all really quality requirements. And when I look at JML, what I'm going to be getting from bumping him up, Chewbacca, I already have him in Relics, that's fine. Mon Mothma, kind of outdated, not really a great team. JTR, not really good unless you have Rey. Old Ben, I guess I could put him with Starkiller. And then some of these are trash. Biggs, Wedge, Princess Leia, all trash. Hermit Yoda, I don't care to have him in high Relics, although he's pretty close for me right now. And then Sith Eternal Emperor, who's also pretty easy. Palpatine high Relics, that actually might not be a bad idea because my Relic 3 Emperor Palpatine is going to get crushed in the world of Relic Delta. Royal Guard, only good with Lord Vader. Krennic is trash. Sidious is trash. Maul is good for Leviathan. Yes, Dooku is pretty trash. Thrawn I'll be getting anyway. Tarkin, unless you farm his clones, kind of trash. Veers, Colonel Stark, falling off. So the quality of the requirements for a lot of these teams I'm going to emphasize going for. Balin, Bo. So Bo, you're getting her like 4 out of her 5 team, 4 out of the 5 members of her team, the full 3v3 team, and then you just need to add 1 more character to farm, and then Killer and Beck is solid. It's only 4 characters to farm. I mean, Mandalorian Beskar Armor is legendary on its own, but the Executor is a high priority for most players. That's super high value. And a General Skywalker is kind of like GL level in the investment. Not entirely, but it's just the breadth of characters you need. And Separatist droids are just trash. Those are not super high quality. But I'm even thinking like Gungans after I get Bo. So I want to get Balin, then I want to get Bo, and then I probably want to get Gungans because that's 4 characters to unlock the legendary, and then the legendary is part of the team. Absolutely no waste in the farming. It's completely all there. And yes, they're all Kyrotech characters, but mid-game, I think you should have already prioritized getting your assault battles done to help with those Kyrotech. So the assault battle, getting all that wrapped up, that's kind of like an early game thing, and you want to make sure you're still doing that in the mid game if you're not quite there. I'm with Great Mothers farmed, I can finally do the Night Sisters assault battle. I can do Peridia Patrol. I'm good on assault battles. So there's just some super high value Journey Guide characters that require relics, yes, but you get your full team out of it, and they challenge GLs. Bo can beat Lord Vader. Honestly, if you're not in Kyber, you might even probably be able to beat just like the new Lord Vader clones. You might be able to beat JMK. Balin definitely beats JMK in Grand Arena for you. That's what he's built to do. He could beat Rey. Gungans, if you're facing people, if you're like mid-game and you're like punching up, climbing up, they can beat a lot of good stuff, and they're actually going to be pretty decent in the world of Relic Delta. They're not going to be taking that much damage. If you get them to like Relic 7 or something, they're going to do fine with their damage. There's a lot of Exposed, the Death Mark, all kinds of things that kind of sidestep that for you. So are these characters, these legendaries I'm talking about, are they better than Galactic Legends? I'd say pound for pound, no. It's just the cost of admission is so high. And then there's the looming issue of 1, Conquest units for lifters that you're going to need, and then 2, use cases for them. So like Supreme Leader Kylo has a lifter now to be his best. Without the lifter, he's not really great on defense. I can beat him in a variety of ways, even with a 5.5 million account. Rey, she has a lifter and really kind of needs him. She is not as hard to beat without Ben. So you need Ben, you need Dark Side Rey. Sith Eternal, Kind of doesn't need a lifter. He has a lifter, but he's so good on his own that people don't really use him that. But so the Journal's fine, doesn't really need a lifter. JML doesn't need a lifter, which is great. But the problem is, so on this account, I like JML's the Galactic Legend I'm closest to, but look at my Jedi. Jedi Revan, Jedi Luke, Mace, Yoda. If I get JML, he's going to take a bunch of Jedi and kind of make his own team. I won't really have enough for a second team other than like a Galactic Republic Jedi team or pure Galactic Republic once I get Queen Amidala, or if I built up for a Padme team. I already get so much done with this Jedi team. Jedi Revan, Jedi Luke, Mace for sure, and then Hermit Yoda, and either Grandmaster Yoda or General Kenobi. Yes, Relic Delta will change things, but I think I could get by and past a lot of things just by relicking a Jedi Luke. And then the Foresight, no matter what the Delta is, you can't, and if you miss, you do no damage. Foresight 0, extra multipliers times 0 is still 0. And then my tank is already Relic 7. So if I add JML to the equation, I already beat GL. I beat JML all the time. I beat Supreme Kylo. I've beaten Rey with these Jedi teams. I'm not really adding too much in PvP. And then when you look at TB, yeah, it's great. Like, you want to do stuff for your guild, but where's the value in TB? Where are you actually getting points? Is it combat missions? No. Well, I can't actually see what you can get from them. Okay, so this is a max of 341,000 GP. Are you kidding me? I think people got into the mindset of thinking combat missions were important in GOTB, where they were worth millions. But TB is all about like platoons and then just deploying. Like, your combat missions are not that great. And then I've already established Jabba is an exception here, and he has his own combat mission throughout the board, and Leia kicks butt too. So TB, low value. Conquest, there's only really feats that target new GLs, and all these old GLs, they can help you, but you can just fly through Conquest anyway if you have some of these great teams. Like, I get gold crate every time with this account, and the only reason I don't get red crate is because it's just gated behind brand new teams, and I just don't have a broad roster, and that wouldn't be solved by Galactic Legends. That would be solved by getting a broader roster. So the use case is just harder. JMK without a cat is pretty trash. Lord Vader doesn't need lifters, but you need to farm 4 other newer characters that require Kyrotech in addition to his entire requirement list, which is huge. He is like the most expensive GL aside from Ahsoka and probably Hondo. And then you need to add more characters, extremely steep requirements. And then Ahsoka without Ezra, pretty much forget about it. Ezra can go anywhere though. And I don't know where I'm going to use Ezra whenever I unlock him. But these Conquest units, they kind of make the team themselves. Like, these lifters, they almost outshine the GL on their own. So not all Conquest units are lifters. Some are like Cat. I'm probably, on this account, I'm not going to go for JMK for a long time. You need Wat Tambor at 7 stars. I'm not there yet. That's a pretty difficult farm on its own. Tons of relics to farm JMK. I'm just going to use her with Padme. And I have some like squads I laid out for teams I'm planning once I unlock these Conquest units. Padme, Jedi, Anakin, GK, Ahsoka, and Cat is an Omicron-free, really strong team. And I think, I haven't used it before, but I know in the past people talked about it being able to beat JMK. So it's just like the lifter is outshining the GL there. Bane, like I said, he's a lifter, but he's his own team. You don't need Sith Eternal. You just focus on Bane. Ezra, he can go anywhere. He really wants a GL because he wants mastery manipulation. But you can take your pick. JMK, Ahsoka, Rey, pretty much anything. And I'll probably just use him with a Jedi team, I guess. And then Maul, he can make his own team. He's not quite as dominant as before. And then Ben and Darkseid Rey, I'd say they're more dedicated lifters. So they're kind of like the edge case there. In addition to all these journey guide teams I was talking about, a super high value, I think once you're a mid-game player, sorry, keep clicking that. Once you're a mid-game player and you're doing Proving Grounds, you got that long wait ahead of you. It's like a year and a half or so before you start unlocking stuff. instead of like building up all these galactic legends, I think you should just be ready and be prepared for when you unlock these conquest units to build these awesome teams. Like Cat, like I'm not going to be building up a JM. I'm not going to be rushing to farm. I'm not going to say, oh, I have Cat, let me farm JMK. No, I'll use it with the team I already have built up. Queen Amidala, S tier non-GL team. So just that's worth your focus. Bane's worth your focus. Malicos for sure. Get a Seer Ufu team. Get Jedi Cal so you can help your guild get to Zepho. All kinds of stuff. And then Malgus, it brings up another point. So when I unlock Malgus, and then when I also unlock Fury class Interceptor, that is the point at which I want to be ready for Leviathan. So this is another thing that I have not talked about yet. Another big reason to not go for GLs yet is because of fleets, and you need to cover your bases with your GL fleets. They don't necessarily have as many things going for them in the ease of farming that I talked about with like Bo-Katan, what's his face, Balin Skull, Gungans. Those are all very efficient, streamlined farms. And Leviathan, yes, it takes a lot, but it is the forever meta in fleets right now. It's been out over 2 years, and we don't have another big capital ship in sight. Even when they buff old ships like Executor and Profundity, they are buffing Leviathan to make sure that they just can't be dominated by those other fleets. So yes, this is a long list of requirements. But I think the goal should be, for most players, try to aim to have this stuff ready by the time you get Fury class Interceptor finished in Conquest, because that's the big bottleneck for me. That's why I can't, as a new player or mid-game player, rush down Leviathan, or like that's why you can't start a new account and rush Leviathan unless you spent like you're a huge spender, because you're just not going to get even close for a long time. But I'm planning this ahead. I'm farming these ships now. And then I'm going to start relicking stuff up to try to be ready right when this comes out, because that is the way to win. And another huge thing, Relic Delta doesn't affect ships. So if you get Leviathan and you're like Chromium or Rhodium, just put it on defense, that's going to be a huge leg up if you're not facing people with Leviathan because they don't want to farm a really difficult farm, or they want to farm a bunch of GLs. It's just so valuable. I don't really know where Profundity falls in this. It's super valuable, but there's this new ship that's not farmable yet, so I'm not going to say like hyper focus on Profundity yet. Executor is a pretty classic early game focus. If you don't go full Galactic Republic and beat your head against the wall trying to beat everything with Mace like I've done, most people go for Executor, and that's super valuable too. So I think Executor, Leviathan, both higher priorities than GLs. But like Leviathan, it's going to take you a long time to get, so I think you pick up Leia, and you pick up Jabba, and then you pick up all these other small journey guide characters. Bo, Balin Skull, Gungans even. I probably won't start harping on Jedi Master Mace yet, although you pick up Tarkin, you have a team without a GL there, so that's pretty nice, and then you have 2 of his 3, so maybe next year I'll be talking about that. But ships, absolutely imperative, especially Leviathan. So if you pick a massive big farm, other than Leia and Jabba, you might not want to do a GL. You might want to just look at Leviathan. No, yeah, I kind of glazed over, but yeah, Relic Delta, they've said Relic Delta won't affect ships. So at a time where you think, I don't know, maybe your roster is lower value because not everything is Relic 7 or 8 or 9, your ships are still going to be carrying for you. So if you set that on defense and your opponents can't get by it, you just have the license to take as many tries as you want to get past their defense. And then you can win just because you got the hold with Leviathan. And also it's going to solidify you in an easy climb in Fleet Arena. Like, dang, I'm at 22 now on this account, even with Executor. I don't have max at Executor. But if you get Leviathan, you're just cruising. On my main account, I have Leviathan, and I auto half my battles immediately. If I face Executor, I auto it immediately. If I face a Leviathan and I go first, I auto it immediately. If not, wait a few turns and you go. So that's going to streamline just your day-to-day, like make crystals easy for you. It's extremely, extremely valuable. And then if you get a Galactic Legend, Squad Arena is not important anymore. I can climb in Squad Arena pretty easily, but there's not that dominant overall value to having one amazing dominant team anymore, except for fleets. So fleets are a huge exception to that. And I don't even know, like, The reason Relic Delta doesn't affect it, one, I think it's just great that it doesn't, and that's not necessary. It's a more limited landscape in ships. I could see it even being a technical issue where they can't actually make that make sense, because relics only indirectly affect the ship stats. So for now, I think that's safe, and that's a huge highlight to the big change. So to sum it up, I'd say, save all the relic investment that you need for most of these GLs. I'm not saying you never do it, but I'm saying you get a bunch of other stuff first. I'm not saying, so like once you have like your Balin, your Bow, your Leviathan, your Gungans, there's not really that much of a reason anymore not, and your Conquest teams, there's not as much of a reason not to go for these Galactic Legends. But with Relic Delta coming up, you're going to need a lot of your teams more balanced in their relics and get them into higher relics. Like maybe Relic 7, I think, is probably the cheap, is a pretty cheap high relic level that makes you pretty safe in a lot of ways. So I think you should be saving up that instead of using so many relics on a GL that might not move the needle for you whatsoever. I mean, I have, for JMK, I'm looking forward to using Cat under Padme, and I might just like it so much that I don't even care about JMK at all, so we'll see. I mean, they're still great characters, so I'm not saying you never do it, but this is specifically for mid-game, early, mid-game. But, if you're covering your bases, you can take down so many GLs with these non-super streamlined farming, non-GLs, get your legendary ships, and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's going to be it for now. A lot of uncertainty going on. We don't know where the numbers are going to land with that Relic Delta test. But I think you just need to build your roster the best you can for you. So early game, focus on assault battles. Mid game, get as many strong teams as you can, whether it be legendaries or conquest units. But GL's taking a backseat, at least for me for now. I hope that this reasoning makes sense. If this helped you, that's great. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.